for waiting. Hello, sorry. Okay, so thank you guys for waiting. My name is Bravin. My name is Bravin Mugangasia. I do work as a project manager at 4BM. And together with our partners, every Thursday we have a session called 4BM Knowledge Thursday, where we help young people looking out for opportunities and jobs just navigate based on different topics that might hinder them in terms of perfect navigation of the job market. May it be connections, may it be networking with other people or networking with people within their industries, selling themselves through a CV, job interviews, how to handle that. And today we are handling together with Linda Kutu, we are handling the about section of the CV. Linda Kutu comes from, or she works at USUDI, and we have Michael Kagera who give us just a small intro what USUDI does. But basically, what USUDI does is it's a sales academy, more like a sales academy school where they train young people on how to navigate the sales world. But Michael will give us more information on that. So I'm Bravin from 4BM. With 4BM, what we do is just share information about opportunities to young people on WhatsApp groups, on our social media platforms. That's from scholarships to job opportunities where available. Yeah. So karibu sana, Michael. If you can just kind of give a small intro of who USUDI is, and then give it to Linda. Thank you.
Sasa, thank you so much, Bravin, and we appreciate this opportunity for having the Knowledge Thursdays with 4BM. So I'd like to just share a bit about who we are, what we do, and how we like to help the youth transition into the workplace. So basically, we're a sales enablement community, and we try and help we try and change the narrative of sales in Africa. So we do this by managing sales teams, recruiting for different organizations, and we also train the youth who have completed their education, and we also place them in the different organizations that we recruit for. So when you hear about the USUDI Sales Academy, it's basically a training that we take the youth who have completed their tertiary education. This can be a diploma or a degree. And then afterwards, we provide them with job opportunities. So for these organizations that we recruit for, we connect our alumni to them. So I'll just share information about that as Linda presents to us, and she'll just give a few things about what we do later on. But for now, all we want to do is just share a few tips on how you can be able to improve your CV, specifically the About section. Kuto has, apart from being a customer success manager at USUDI, she's also the person who helps our alumni once they're placed in the different companies. She does coaching for them. So once we train you and place you in the different organizations, she's able to just hold your hand, guide you, and help you understand what's expected from you. If you face any challenges, she's the one to help you, and she'll tell you more about that also later. Sitaki kumaliza her profile before she introduces herself later. So I'll hand it over to Kuto, and Bravin, maybe you can allow us to be able to share our screens before we continue. She has a presentation.
Yes. Thank you so much, Michael. And also, you keep forgetting, and I'll keep pulling your legs on that. That guys who come to these sessions and all over, you guys also provide scholarships for the sales training that you have. And yeah, and then you've mentioned about being job placement, of course, for that. So yeah, stick around, be friends with Michael on LinkedIn, disturb him so much, and he'll give you that scholarship, or he'll give you more information on you. So yeah, but I think I've made you guys co-hosts.
Yeah. So guys, if you're interested in the program, you can reach out to us. I'll share the details in the chat. We do offer scholarships. So if once you apply, we'll be able to help you understand how this process goes. So I think we can hand it over to Kuto, so that she can introduce herself and start session.
Sorry, your audio is kind of a little bit off. We can't hear you.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's better.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in such a noisy place, but I just had to sit somewhere and take the session today. So as mentioned, my name is Linda Chelagat Kuto. I am the customer success manager at Usudi. And ideally is pretty much customer success is I'm 1,001% committed, or it's pretty much, you see the way people tell other people to mind their own business. So me, I mind other people's business as a way to earn a living. So if you join the training, I will definitely mind your business until you succeed. When you are placed in our partner companies, I'll walk with you through that journey. I'll walk that journey with the company as well until you get to a point where your career has actually picked up. And that brings us to the first conversation, or the first thing that actually gets you, there. And it's see, Michael has helped share the screen. Thank you so much. So we are going to tackle the first thing that actually gets you in. Yeah. So the first thing that gets us in is our CV. And a lot of times people pay people to write CVs. And I think I've had a session here before, and I discouraged people writing CVs because it doesn't bring out the personality of who you are. So I know we are running a series about curating or crafting your first CV, and I'm going to focus on one section of it, which is crafting your about section. About section is pretty much, you see that part that appears right after personal information. So there's this standard format for a CV, right? It's usually personal information, personal statement, and then we go to work experience, then we go to education, any additional training, interests, and then finally referees. But now in this context, we are dealing with the first section, which is, we call it the personal statement. Some people call it executive summary, others call it what is career objective, others call it, what else have I seen? So career objective, objective summary, or summary is the executive something. Just a small summary of who you are for you to actually attract somebody who's going to make sense of your profile. So yes, we can proceed to the next, Michael. So that's the introduction of our session today. And the very first thing, why is it important to have that section? Allow me to call it the personal statement in this meeting. So why do you want to have that summary? Why do you want to have that on top of your CV, and yet you have an entire CV that still speaks about who you are? You want to capture the eyes of the recruiter. You want to capture the recruiter's eye. For you to capture the recruiter's eye, of course, it aims for you to move to the next stage. So it takes, as I've written down there, it takes the recruiter 8 seconds. You see the way you can open a CV and then you quickly just peruse the CV and you're like, okay, so I really want to see this person. Or sometimes you might open a CV and you're like, did they really look at what they were applying for? Did they really understand what they were coming to do? So the CV doesn't speak for you within the first few minutes, and it's hard for us to even pick up a call and proceed to screening or just calling you to hear you out or things like that. So why we have that section is for it to capture the recruiter's eye. You can proceed to the next. So now let's get into detail about crafting the about section, which is the personal statement. So as I've said, it has different names. So personal profile, personal statement, objective, executive summary, etc. So its importance, it's pretty much for you to stand out, to speak of your value with respect to the role and attract the recruiter's attention. So I've introduced something new there, value. You want to have something that says, I'm applying for, say, for example, customer success. I've done so many other things before I did customer success, but now I'm also applying for a customer success job. So definitely my about section is going to be heavy on the skills of customer success to show them, by the way, I've seen your JD and you need this and I have this. So I give you a brief summary at the top there. Ndio ukiendelea to the rest part of the CV, you already have what is important. You already have what you actually need to have. And that's what we need to actually create and build value. One thing that I need to mention before we move to the next part is your CV. We don't just write a CV to throw a CV or to send a CV or to apply. We write CVs for it to actually show value for what we're doing, for it to actually show that actually this is what we have and this is what we can do. Sawa? So it's very important to ensure that the CV you send, if you send a CV today, it actually speaks of my value. I know somebody else in the team will come and talk about work experience, but I want to mention in passing to show why value is important. After the about section, you've spoken about what you need to do over a period of time. Under the work experience, you're not going to write the task and duties that you are doing in the previous workplace. Of what value would it be if you're applying for my company and you're telling me your daily duties in your previous company? So that's what we write in that section is accomplishments. So I know I'm debating a bit, but what you write is accomplishments because that's what builds value for who you are as a potential candidate. Yeah. So it's very important to maintain a CV or to write a CV that's very full of value, very directed to show that this role that you apply, I am your guy, and this is my track record. This is what I have to show. And you realize this cannot be written by somebody you pay to write your CV. It can't, because they can't understand it the way you understand it. They cannot visualize your goal the way you can visualize your goal. So let's move to the next. So the next one is steps to write a good personal statement. And if you have questions, feel free to leave them at the chat box. I'll come back to it. So we do have 5 main steps to write a good personal statement or a good personal profile or an executive summary. Number 1, it is a paragraph. It is a very short paragraph. It mostly contains about 6 to 8 lines. Yeah. And what that paragraph entails, number 1, is who you are. So who you are in terms of attributes plus background of what you studied. So attributes are these things that describe who you are. Those things that, for example, I'm self-motivated, I'm reliable, I am a goal-getter, I'm a go-getter. Like you see those adjectives that best describe you. And if you don't know what adjectives best describe you, you can take a personality test. It's called a plum test, and it's fine. You Google too, you'll get that personality test. You'll do the test, then you'll find things or attributes or adjectives that best describe you, and then what you studied in university or whatever it is, whichever institution that you went to, you have to also document what you studied over that period of time. So that's number 1. Number 2, 2 to 3 skills. And 2 to 3 skills are, if you're applying for customer success again, for example. So I'm applying for customer success. I have looked at what they need. I have what they need. So those skills that I'm talking about that they need and I have are the skills that I'm going to put in the about section. So those are the things that I'm going to show them. You guys, this is what I have, and I know this is what I need. Call me, I'll show you what you need to do. I'll go through the interview and you'll see what I mean by seeing what I've actually done over a period of time, or the skills that I've actually gained over a period of time. So the number 2 marries to number 3. Number 3 says 2 to 3 achievements, or 2 to 3 achievements that you've gotten over a period of time. Again, back to our example. Allow me to back to our example. Our example is customer success. I have gained skills over a period of time for customer success. So when I'm applying for a job, when applying for this job, I'm applying for this job and I do have achievements that I've gotten over a period of time. Remember, we are writing an about section. that speaks only of our value. So when we talk about our skills and then we come and couple it up with achievements, then as a recruiter, I want to call you, I want to see you, I want to speak to you. And there's something called ATS. I know Michael will invite one of us to speak about ATS. That person will definitely mention ATS is a system that just picks out wordings that are it picks out relevant, for example, it picks out keywords, for lack of a better word. So it picks out keywords, and you see when you align your personal statement with what is on the JD, then definitely ATS will pick out those words and not drop you in the recruitment process. That's if the company in question is using that criteria to filter out applications. And then number 4, it's important to always mention the environment that you thrive in. There are so many kinds of environments. For example, there are people who thrive in fast-paced environments. There are people who thrive in dynamic environments. There are people who thrive in very creative spaces. So it's very important to also include that for people to actually get to know you, for people to actually get to feel, and for the recruiter to know, if I take this person, they've said they thrive in fast-paced environments. Definitely, our environment is fast-paced, so I need this person to come on board. Again, if you don't know which environment you thrive in, or if you've never worked in any organization, there are tests online that can they'll ask you leading questions to sort of derive which environment or which work culture would you thrive best. So take advantage of it to understand a little bit about yourself. And then lastly, your unique value proposition, which is the UVP. So unique value proposition is, so many people are going to apply for that role, but what makes you stand out? It's that question in interviews that you're asked, why should I hire you? So it's pretty much telling them on that about section as you wind up, this is what you hope to do for your new employer. So this is what I can bring on the table, and this is going to be the result. For example, I'm going to foster new relationship to increase revenue in the business by targeting new markets. For example, if you're in a sales role. So you've told them this is what you're good at, this is what are your achievements over time. This is also, lastly, this is what I can bring on the table. So again, just to wrap this up, or just to wrap this part up, there are 4 things that make a good about section. Number 1, who you are. Number 2, 2 to 3 skills. Number 3, 2 to 3 achievements. Number 4, environment to thrive in. And then lastly, your unique value proposition. What's important, this part changes over time. So if you're applying for accounting, definitely the about section will keep changing to align the needs of that job to what you have and what you've grown into. Together. Michael, please move to the next. Nice. So a very good question. Somebody would wonder, what exactly am I saying? Where do we get this information to populate our about section? Where do we get all this detail that you're talking about? So this is where we get this detail. You get it from the job description. So when you look at the job description, for example, customer success, you see that when they talk about this is the ideal profile for the candidate, they tell you the skills that they want there. And even when that JD is not there, go online again, just Google. What are some of the skills that a customer success manager needs to have? So once you put it there, you now sit down and just explore your experiences. What is it that you have? And how can you draw skills and achievements to align to exactly what is being applied for? Next, please. So I want to read you samples. It's not sample LinkedIn profiles. It should be sample about section, yeah. So example 1, this person is entry level and they are applying for a job in sales. So their personal statement reads, Cynthia is a self-motivated and goal-oriented individual with a strong academic background in sales and marketing. She possesses exemplary experience in sales, marketing, business development, and customer service, which was showcased during her time at the UCD Sales Academy, where she gathered 335 new prospects, made 315 cold calls, set up 8 client meetings, and generated 3 leads for the institution. She seeks an opportunity in a dynamic organization where she can capitalize on new markets, establish a loyal clientele, and attain, if not surpass, set targets. So somebody can say nikujichocha. Sometimes you're chochaing and you're trying to show them that you actually, this is what I have, this is why you need me, take me, because this is what I actually can do in this job. And you see she's put there, she's quantified her achievements, because now she's in sales. Sales is very result oriented. Definitely when you come on board, I want to see what you've done. Like I want to feel the candidate behind all of this. So this is why this is there. Michael, next. Do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts for the about section. Number one, keep your personal statement short. So we don't want to bombard recruiters with heavy paragraphs, a lot of information, a lot of big words, a lot of so many English in one sentence. We don't want that. And then, so 6 sentences is fine. That's enough. Number two, add measurements to your achievements. So measurements for achievements are pretty much quantify your achievements. There are roles that require numbers. There are roles that require to see quantifiable achievements. Put them there. Employers love to see that. Employers love to see that you have a good understanding and you'd come and join us and just get the ball rolling. And then number three, avoid jargon or CV buzzwords. CV buzzwords ni zile repetitive things that people usually say. I'm a go-getter. I know I used it the first time as an example, but CV buzzwords are just commonly used statements that are not really, they just seem as though you've moved it there, but you've not really learned who you are. When you say you're self-motivated, what does that mean? When you say you can thrive in a fast-paced environment, what does that mean? So you need to avoid the commonly used words just because of writing a CV. Because just want to write a CV, send and apply, but you see you're not applying something that's going to work out. And then lastly, don't mix grammatical person. So if you choose to use first person, use first person. If you use third person, use third person. First person in this case is starting by saying I am this and that. Third person is Linda is, then you use she and he throughout the entire paragraph. So it shows some sort of organization and just like understanding of what exactly we are doing. I think this was the last slide, but please move. I see if it's the last one. Lovely. So that was very short and sweet, and I'm sure this will be sent to you for you to just internalize and get to really understand what a CV is. How is it done? And it's not the entire CV. I know somebody else in the team is going to tackle the other parts of the CV, but for the about section, always remember it has to speak your value. Right now, like times have changed. We can't just write CVs because we want to write. Right now, people are hiring based off value. So if I'm writing a CV, if I'm hiring you, if I'm moving this conversation forward, why should I hire you? See these questions that you're usually asked in interviews. Why should I hire you? Like, what value do you bring? There are so many people out here. Why should I hire you? So that CV should be able to sort of give you some sort of direction to head there or to have that kind of conversation. So I'll take questions. I see we have a couple of questions here. No, one question. Sammy is asking, can the about section of the CV be used on the LinkedIn section of profile? So what I'd say here, so in your LinkedIn, if you've decided, so LinkedIn is a space that about profile is you trying to say who you are. You're not necessarily applying to anything. You're saying who you are, you're saying all of those things. Actually, yes. It can be used, but be very careful to not limit your options to a certain, do I say it?
Yeah, hello, we've lost Linda.
I think we've lost Linda. Just give me a minute so that I can check.
Okay.
If there's anything technical on our end. Meanwhile, I'll just share the details about the program. You can just look at it while I get a hold of me just 1 minute.
It's okay. So for the rest of the guys, if you still have any question, you can share. And on the chat section, I can also see Michael is sharing information about Yusudi. You can check them out as they do their sales. As I had shared earlier, they do have sales they do have a sales academy where they teach guys on sales and then connect them to employers. And as for 4BM, just kind of bring them on this platform to share information about different ways of that we can help guys who are looking out for job opportunities. Maybe change something on wherever recruitment documents that you might have, so that you can have a better chance of either being found by an employer or improving your chances of just getting the best kind of work you might be looking for. So in the meantime, if there's anyone who has any question, you can just kind of drop it on the chat section. If you want to ask it, you can just unmute and also ask. Someone is saying admit her.
Oh, is she's? I think she's in the waiting room.
Okay, let me see. Just a minute.
So, in case any of you have any questions about what Kuto has shared with us, you can just type it down in the chat so that when she comes back, she can be able to answer it. If you might have questions after this session, you can just let us know. We'll be able to just answer them, because we'll be having these sessions every Thursday at night from 8. I see Kuto is already back, so I think she can just take over from here.
Sorry, guys, it kicked me out. I don't know what I did wrong, but I must have mistakenly done something. All right, where was I heading? So I was saying, yes, the about section can be your profile on LinkedIn, but be very careful to not limit yourself. Be very careful, because LinkedIn is all about connecting with people in your space and possibly to attract recruiters. So be very keen on sharing skills that you have across board. And then, of course, you can talk about your attributes, but don't lean towards one specific, like I'm applying for something. So it has to be very all-rounded. Let it describe you, let it give us detail about you, but it shouldn't ensure it doesn't limit you. I think that was the only question. Is there another?
No.
Is there any other?
I don't know. Guys, anyone with any question, you can drop it, or can just unmute and ask. If not, thank you so much, Linda, for the session. And as someone has mentioned about LinkedIn, maybe we should have a LinkedIn session sometimes later. And once you're done with the series on your CV, you can do one on LinkedIn, because at the end of the day, the CV is getting you to a place where it's landing you into a room, and LinkedIn, on the other hand, has the potential of the employer then coming to you if you do market yourself very well. So we can plan with the team later on, maybe to have a session on LinkedIn. For guys who don't have LinkedIn accounts, you can go and create one. And for the same series, you can check out other similar series we've done with Yusudi on YouTube at 4BM, and just follow through. And if you have any question, you can always reach out to us. So anyone with any question? Okay, so maybe Linda, you can give a parting shot, and then same to Michael. And I think we will end there today, but just say something, Linda, and then Michael.
All right. So what I'd say, personally, I am also a recruiter, and it usually pains me when a lot of us share CVs or apply for jobs. When some of us apply for jobs, and when I look at the CVs, you can just tell this person never looked at whatever CV they attached on the application. So they just saw a job and then clicked apply, uploaded whatever it is that they uploaded, and they never cared to look at exactly what am I applying for, what am I uploading, what am I sending. And you see, at the end of the day, we are frustrated that there are no jobs, we're not getting called, but we are also not getting quality applications. So I think that parting shot for me is never give up, craft your CV, let it speak about you, let it speak for you, and ensure we'd rather do two applications daily and do two quality applications than do 10 and then do 10 things that are not, applications that are not going to go through. The other thing is always aim to develop skill as you wait, or even if you're working, but you feel you want to transition to another job, Google has a lot of skill development tests. And as well, USUDI has a training that sort of upskills you or just builds capacity in terms of skill. So always ensure that you belong to something, you actually do something. You attend these sessions with 4PM because you'll get to learn or know things that you wouldn't have gotten a forum, or you had to pay for a forum to actually be told such things. So please just keep whatever you do, whatever application you do, always ensure that it's quality and that you're learning day in, day out. That would be it from my end.
Thank you, Kuto. Thank you for sharing that with us. So for those who would like to get more information about what we share, because our main aim has been to help the youth transition. I see there's another question for Ken Sony. So yes, we have a program for those already in the market. We also have a sales community where you can also be able to attend our events, where we bring in mentors, CEOs, sales managers in the different industries. They come and talk to people who are in the sales industry, and they guide and coach you through this. We also have the Women in Sales Africa. So we'll be able to share that. I think I'll share the link for that with Bravin, so that for those who are interested in joining our community, they can join. We also have evening classes for those who are interested and those who are still at work. So if you're interested in joining our program, you can apply for the evening classes, which takes 3 months. So for scholarships, we had an agreement with 4BM. So our program costs at 9,500, but we are giving partial scholarships. So we pay 30,000 for you, and you'll just have to pay 9,500. For more information, you can just, I can share that. I'll share that shortly when we wind up. So if you're interested, you can apply. We also have sessions on Instagram live. So every Thursday, we have IG live sessions where we touch on different topics that people have requested us to touch on, because these topics are what is trained in our sales academy. So we try and bring in nuggets for you guys to be able to help you. Even if you're not going to join in sales, you can be able to transition into the job market currently, because that's a big challenge with most of us. With that, I think I'll hand it over back to Bravin so that she can close.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for the information. For the participants, thank you for joining in for this Knowledge Thursday Friday. As I had mentioned earlier, we do work under 4BM, and the Forgotten Bottom Million, we have WhatsApp groups where we share job opportunities, and we do also share scholarship opportunities as they arise. So I'll definitely share this recording on YouTube. If you search 4BM, you can still find it in case you missed anything and you already joined late. We'll also be working on next week's topics. We'll share that also. If you have any question, you can always share. You can always reach out to us through our social media platforms. That's on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, if you go to our website, you still find our information how to join our platform under 4BM. Having said that, thank you so much for joining. You can say goodbye as we drop off. I think we are done. But thank you so much for coming. See you guys next Thursday. Bye.